Here comes the sun,
Dee,
little
dee,
darling.
dee.
It's alright.
Well, well, well. Here we are, once again. We're back. Look at that. Welcome to T.O. Yarn Crafts, and we've got a very special guest today.
Hi, everybody.
My good old Mama Gwen. Y'all been asking for months,
I'm here.
and she's here. Good to see you.
Hey,
You
darling.
look really pretty.
You look pretty.
Oh, thanks, girl.
Girl, you know I love this sweater.
You want to trade?
Oh, yeah. I need a long sleeve, girl.
It's cold outside.
My little thermometer is going up and down.
So we are super excited to spend some time with you. Super chill. We barely have a script today.
Ooh.
We literally just said, get dressed and turn on the camera.
Yes.
And here we are.
Here we go.
Let me know if you agree. We've had a pretty epic year.
It's been on 10.
Yeah. We've done a ton of traveling, a lot of teaching. We've met some really amazing people.
Entertaining.
Yeah. So I thought it would be fun for us to get together, hang out with you, whether you're folding laundry, wrapping gifts,
whatever you're
cleaning
doing.
a house,
Yeah.
crocheting yourself. If
Yeah.
you don't have a project in your hand,
Or knitting.
I strongly recommend it. It is high on the list of fun things to do. All right, lovelies, and before we can jump in, of course, we have to give some love to our Cup of Caffeine sponsor. We just got a warm-up.
Yes.
And we are dedicating that warm-up to our new friend, Araya, or Ari. I'm probably saying that wrong, but please know that I say it wrong with love. And when donating, Araya said, I love your videos. They help me with learning new tricks for my very new Etsy store. I appreciate all the time you put into sharing your videos with us. And thank you so much. We absolutely love making these videos. It's a super fun time.
Yeah.
Anytime Mom gets to come over, it's always fun. Thank you for the coffee. We really, really appreciate it. And if you like my videos and want to support my channel, buy me a coffee. Who knows? I might shout you out in the next one. We are kicking things off with a new fun thing. So I want to play a game. Are you down?
I'm down for a game.
Okay, so the game is called Stitch It or Pitch It, right?
I like that. Okay.
So we're coming to the end of the year. There's always going to be certain things that we leave in 2024, right?
Mm-hmm.
That we're not going to take into 2025. And then there's some things that will be with us for always. So I have 10 different facets of the knit and crochet community that we're going to go through, and we're going to decide, are we going to stitch it? Are we going to keep it? Do we love it? Or are we going to pitch it? And are we going to call it good, leave it in 2024, and not take it to 2025?
Ooh, some things.
Let's get juicy, baby, right at the top of the show, okay? Ooh. First one.
Mm-hmm.
Holiday Advents. Now, if you're not familiar with what an Advent is, essentially it's a countdown usually to Christmas, even though like the 12 days of Christmas, doesn't that start on Christmas Day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
We just be making stuff up. You know, capitalism, it's a thing. Essentially the way that the Advents work is you buy this thing in like March, April, May, June, July.
The beginning of the year.
And it shows
you give up that cash. Come on,
early.
y'all.
You commit early.
Early.
And then
commit.
In
literally.
November or so, the yarn shows up, and then starting December 1st, you open up a skein of yarn every single day, usually like little minis.
If it's a Christmas Advent. It could be a Valentine's Advent or some other Advent.
I had a Halloween Advent once. That was really fun.
Like that.
I really enjoyed that.
It could be an Advent for pretty much any what we consider holiday.
We're talking specifically about holiday Advents, ones that you open up in December. So on 3, we're going to say stitch it or pitch it. 1, 2, 3, stitch it. Yes, baby.
Yes.
We are keeping those Advents because Mama loves an Advent.
Ooh, wait a minute. And I'm going to let y'all know this. I have never purchased an Advent because why am I paying for something and then I ain't getting it for months? You know,
that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair, right?
Yeah, it is.
But this year I was blessed by Lola Bean and Co. Adela blessed me with a Advent, and I'm hooked. I've already made another purchase already.
You did?
From her.
Oh yeah.
Always
support. We got to.
Yeah, I will be stitching it.
Oh yeah, we're keeping the holiday Advent.
Yes,
I have 4 this year. I felt a little bad at first when everything was in the box, and then I started opening them, and I immediately did not feel bad ananymore. So yeah, holiday Advent's here to stay.
Right, I usually live vicariously through hers, and then I'm not gonna lie, she gave me one before, but that was after she opened it up and everything. So that was okay though, because I don't mind it.
Yarn is yarn, girl.
The yarn is yarn, and you know I love it all.
So we're gonna jump into the next one.
Next.
So the next one is Mini scarves. There's been this mini scarf trend. We're going to take it all the way back to, what is it, petite knit?
Yeah.
With the little Sophie scarf.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Yes.
Not the first mini scarf we ever saw.
No.
But definitely the most popular. I think
popular.
everybody who knits has made one of those. It's cute. You know, it's a thing. Mm-hmm. And now, of course, everybody's making mini scarves.
You will see them everywhere.
So on 3, mini scarves. Stitch it or pitch it. 1, 2, 3. Pitch it. I said pitch it. Mostly because I feel like this is a trend that has been worn down into the ground.
I can't say why I want to stitch it. I'm going to say I'm going to stitch it.
We going to stitch it for 2024. And maybe the first half of 2025.
Yeah, please. At least.
At least.
Give me 6 months, okay?
Give me 6 months. Listen, now, I'm not like a full-on hater, right? I'm not like 100% hater. When I say pitch it for this, I'm at like 75% hater, right? And you can't really listen to the haters. If you ain't got no haters, you're not doing nothing right anyway. Right. So maybe you are doing it right. Right? You know, maybe maybe I'm just the only one who's like,
I think
I'm low-key sick of seeing them. But they do seem fun to make. I mean, everybody seems to enjoy working on them.
I find that I've noticed that most people that have day jobs wear them.
Sure.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Because they jazz up an outfit when you don't want to wear a vest or a scarf or a shawl. I can appreciate them for what they add to fashion.
I think they're a cute accessory.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that they are a cute accessory.
Yeah.
And I think that if people can just take them out the box because they're only putting them on their neck, you can wrap them around your hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can wear them as a belt. You know, different soul guys out there.
Style it up. Do something. Just do it a little bit
just
different.
Throw that thing around your neck because we tired of that. That's what you're tired of.
I think maybe that's the issue. I'm not sick of mini scarves. I think the mini scarf itself is super cute. I think what I am annoyed by is the commotion around the mini scarf.
Yeah, it's not a new concept.
Yeah.
Some designs are not as original.
Talk about it.
If it's new to you, then it's new, then it's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm not a hater.
I ain't take my nice pills today. Okay.
Ooh, Sword, where's the sword?
This is my thing. And especially as a crocheter, I feel like if you're going to design one, don't just throw a random stitch together into a scarf. I love us crocheters, but I think sometimes we can be a little bit
complacent.
Thank you.
When it comes down to design and saying things like, oh, well, I've never seen it before, so it's a new design to me. You probably have.
New. Yeah. It's not new.
You just decided that you didn't even care to put your name on it. But that's okay.
And you are special. You are a wonderful little snowflake. Like, we love that about you. But just understand that because you made it does not make it original. No. It just makes it yours.
Yes.
And so let's not make it seem like these ideas that have been around for a really long time are original. No. Maybe you're refreshing something. Yeah. Right? You're breathing some new life into something. Right.
Because you change your yarn or something doesn't mean that it's a new design. It just means that it's different.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Next one we're talking about. Hexagon cardigans. Now, if you haven't seen these are typically crocheted. They can be Tunisian crocheted, can be knitted, mostly crocheted. It's a very crochet-centric trend. You make a couple of hexagons, you sew them together, it becomes a sweater. This got super duper popular all over TikTok, all over YouTube, and tons of tutorials and tons of different ideas have come out of these. 1, 2, 3, stitch it. Yes, the hexagon cardigans are here to stay, and I hope they don't ever go anywhere. You know why? Because I feel like that is one garment that no matter where you are in your crochet journey, you can make this. And not only can you make it, but I feel like it is a massive confidence boost to you as a crocheter. To make that
garment. That first garment.
Yes. So, just to rip that Band-Aid off and be like, oh, I have some concept of garment construction and where this goes and how this falls.
And how it fits together.
Yeah.
What I would love to see more of. Make that hexi cardi or sweater into more. make it into tunics, make it longer, make it into
Yes.
dresses.
Yes.
Sew up
Put
that
your
back,
own
make it
take on it.
long.
Yeah.
And then leave that front part open and have you some splits somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, like funk it
Jazz
up.
it up.
Yeah, give
And
it
that's
a
the thing.
little
The hexagon
something.
cardigan is like a template, right?
Yes,
it's like the base
yes.
pattern. Here's my hot take as a designer.
Give it.
Let's say you come up with something that's not altogether original. Just don't sell the pattern. Just give it away.
Please.
Put it on a blog somewhere.
Right.
Make it a free Ravelry download.
Yes.
Like, because what people are paying for is the original idea and the
Right.
original design. If you just saw something that you whipped up super quick and you're like, meh, meh, meh. Like, sell it. Either have it for free, sell it for $1 or $2.
Yeah. Donate it. Donate the money to somebody. But don't be out there
Don't make
about,
your mini scarf pattern $9.50. Don't do that.
And I don't care who you are.
It don't matter. I wouldn't even do that. Come on, guys. Like,
Right.
if you were a maker and not a designer, right?
Right.
Would you pay $9.50 for this? Would you?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Mm-mm.
But them hexagon cardigans, though, we keeping those.
Keep them.
Keeping those. And we making them in 2025.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next one.
I'm ready.
Blending knit and crochet in a project, right? So something I've been seeing a lot more lately, particularly with that lovely like granny square cardigan with the knit sleeves, we're seeing a little bit more of this experimentation
Yes.
of people blending and marrying knit and crochet in their pieces.
I've always done it.
Mom has, yeah.
And I could never understand why people just didn't do it more often.
I don't know.
So I think you know where I'm going.
1, 2, 3, stitch
Stitch
it.
it.
Yes, I
Yes.
absolutely believe that if you know how to crochet, you should learn the basics of knitting. And if you know
The
how to knit, you should learn the
simplest.
basics of crochet.
Yes.
Because what this all comes down to is how versatile you are
Yes.
with the yarn that you have.
Yes.
Because there are going to be projects that are more appropriate for crochet versus knitting and vice versa.
Exactly.
So why would you limit yourself to one craft when you could be at least proficient in both?
In both. And also, sometimes you have more yarn and then you can crochet it. And sometimes you have less yarn and then you have to knit it. Just use what you have.
Work with what you got.
Times are not as lean and sometimes you have to work with what you have. And if that is the case, especially for designers, you know, you're a designer and you're designing a scarf and the scarf calls for 5 full skeins of blah, 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 which is what? $30, $40, $50. Some people charging for a skein of yarn.
Yep. Yeah, why is yarn getting so expensive?
That's a whole nother. We
I was like, why is this? The skeins used to be $26. Why they now $32?
Oh, I remember when they were $21.
Oh, I wasn't even around.
I
I wasn't
remember
yarning
when,
then.
I remember when they were $21, and that was a lot of money. Back to the
mixing knit and crochet.
I definitely think that is a key. A lot of times we cause a division where there doesn't need to be division.
It's so not necessary. How about we pitch the whole knit versus crochet thing? How about we pitch that for 2025? How about,
because if one more person bring it up,
part of the way that we can help do that is stop getting offended when somebody says,
oh, that's
what are you
pretty knit? What are you knitting?
How about we stop doing that? I think that's part of the problem.
Yes, baby, this is crochet. You know, the one with the single hook as opposed to one with the double.
There are
needles.
ways to gently correct people.
Yes, because
but like
people don't even want to get in your little circle.
As crocheters, people don't want to talk to us when we bring that energy. Okay, so let's stop doing that.
What you make, what you do, is fantastic.
It is.
You are the sugar honey iced tea. So this is what I want you to do for me. Stop causing drama where there ain't no drama. There's so much other stuff going on in this world.
Please and thank you. Here's a good one. Slip stitch sweaters. So like the crochet sweaters made out of all of these slip stitches. I've been seeing them everywhere. They're made out of regular slip stitches, yarn over slip stitches, half double slip stitches, and we're just mini stitching all around to make this like ribbed looking fabric. Now we know what it is. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, stitch it. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
They seem like they take forever, but they're really pretty.
They are.
They're gorgeous.
They give you depth.
Yes.
And they also lend to, I'm going to say it, I hope you're ready, knitting.
They do. Let's be honest as crocheters, if we're making slip stitch sweaters, we want sweaters that look like knitting.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah.
That's what we tried to do.
Yes.
What we really want is somebody to be like, oh my God, is that knit? I thought thought you only crocheted. That's what we want.
That's what
we're going for. Like, let's be honest. It's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay. Do what you want.
Exactly.
Do what you like. Do what makes you happy. You bought that string it up however you like.
Yeah. Those slip stitch sweaters, that concept is so classic.
Yes.
Like, sweaters were made like that almost before crochet itself got really popular.
Yeah, because they made the fabric thicker.
Yes, very dense.
Warmer. And that's what you needed.
Back when we made clothes for utility and not for Instagram.
Right. Because, girl, you know you want to know about this. It's okay.
You know. But for real.
Seriously though.
I definitely I honor and recognize that trend is starting to blossom and bloom, and I'm really excited to see what designers continue to do with it.
Yes.
I think it's going to get very, very important to make sure we're not mimicking silhouettes.
Yes.
That we're playing with color, we're playing with texture, we're playing with shape, we're playing with size.
Mixing fibers.
We're designing, not just
mimicking.
Yes. Yeah. In a minute, we're going to have a whole lot of slip stitch sweaters, and it's going to be harder for you to differentiate yours from somebody else's because the ones that are coming out are really well done.
Another thing too, they remind me a lot of Tunisian.
Yes.
Which I love.
Very much so.
You know, so that's another thing.
I'm a fan.
Next.
I dig it.
Ooh.
Acrylic yarn haters.
Oh.
Okay. Now, acrylic yarn gets a bad rep. We know that because it is inexpensive. It is not great for the environment. Doesn't lend itself well to all different kinds of projects. The list goes on. And we could do this pretty much about any fiber. Every fiber has its drawbacks. Every fiber
has its drawbacks.
But acrylic really does get the brunt, I feel, of negativity when it comes to fibers in this space.
Okay? Especially from people who sell natural fibers.
It's the truth.
But what you don't understand is that everybody can't use natural fibers.
1, 2, 3, stitch it. We are keeping the acrylic yarn
because it has a place.
It has a place.
And people need it.
Yeah.
It may not be what you can use or what you like. It may not feel good to you or anything. But trust me, I felt some natural fibers that could go straight in the trash. In the bin. I'm not going to call out your name.
Yeah.
But
I'd be like, listen, that super scratchy stuff, you grew it in, Wisconsin, but it don't feel good and I don't like it and I'm not going to use it. And if you give me a really well-made acrylic yarn,
I can make something out of that.
Listen, I've seen some of the most beautiful sweaters, blankets, just all kinds of everything.
Anything.
Made from acrylic yarn.
Yes.
I've felt acrylic yarn that if I had my eyes closed and you didn't tell me, I would have no idea.
90% of the stuff that you get from the store is acrylic.
Oh, yes, very much so. If you're purchasing from like your Joann's, your Michaels, a lot of that's going to be acrylic.
Oh, I'm talking about made sweaters.
Oh, sure, yeah. Polyester, acrylic, yeah. Nylon, that's what you're buying.
It's pretty much the same thing. It's plastic that they've woven into fabric.
Again, like you were saying before, we create division where it's not necessary.
It's not necessary.
We're not the fiber police.
No.
You know, I'm not going to go up to somebody saying, why are you using acrylic when you could be using fill in the blank? If it's not your preference and you don't keep acrylic in your stash, honey, that is totally fine.
They could
and I'm not judging you either.
They couldn't. It's not in their budget.
And it could just be their preference. It could just be what they like to use.
Some people don't like the way natural fibers feel on their hands. I know this time of year, they dry me out immensely. Whereas that plastic going over my hand, it don't bother it at all.
Not at all. So we're gonna get rid of the acrylic yarn haters. Okay, so we're gonna pitch those, but we're gonna stitch the acrylic yarn.
Yes, we're keeping it.
We're keeping it.
If you don't like it,
send yours to us. Then
we'll take that. Take 11 months.
So here's the next one.
I'm ready.
Not learning how to read patterns. So this is something that comes up for me a lot as a crochet teacher. I'll release a pattern and somebody immediately says, what do they say? Where's the tutorial video?
You don't have a video?
You don't have a video?
I don't know how to read patterns. What you buy it for?
Here's my favorite line. I'm a visual learner.
That's your business.
I can't read patterns.
Question?
So the question is not learning how to read patterns.
Oh.
Not learning how.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Pitch it. We're pitching it.
It's got to be out of there.
Now, let me do a little disclaimer because I know somebody is yelling at their screen right now.
Don't do it.
You have some kind of learning issue. Maybe there is a challenge, dyslexia, whatever it is. Honey, we're not talking to you.
We're not. This
I
is
love
not
you, and you do whatever you need to do to make sure you can keep some yarn in your hands. Honey, I ain't talking to you.
Right.
Who I'm talking to? I'm talking to Betty Sue, who emailed me because she bought a pattern and she just knew there'd be a video, even though I never said that there was. And she's like, well, I don't read patterns.
Well,
Can't.
That's your business.
Don't.
That's your business.
I choose not to, and I only learn from videos.
And I spent the whole $7,654.32 on this pattern.
And you know what she's also going to tell me? She's also going to tell me she's been crocheting for 30 years, and this shouldn't be so hard for her.
You know what that is, Betty.
Listen, Betty Sue Joe.
Quisha.
You're making choices in life, and all of our choices have consequences. So if you choose not to learn how to read patterns, there's going to be this massive collection of patterns that you are just never, ever, ever going to make. Ever. There's so many steps that come into creating a design. It's, choosing the yarns, picking the colors, making the swatches, making the dang on thing, taking photos, making sure it fits, all of the finishing, writing the pattern, tech editing.
Gauge.
It's just, there's so many steps. And the expectation that for, the $7 I ask you to pay, not only have I gone through all of those steps, but I now have also made a tutorial video.
Stuff,
So the expectation is you've gone through all of that. Now you want me to make a tutorial video, and if I don't have that, then it just wasn't worth it. Really?
Seriously, though?
Really?
Whose fault is that?
So here's my 2 cents. Just like when I say, if you don't vote, you can't complain. If you don't learn to read the patterns, you can't complain about the patterns.
You don't even know
what it says. You don't even know if it's right or not.
Pick up 3 stitches every 4 rows and keep going to the end.
2025. We're cutting the excuses.
No excuses,
Choosing not to read patterns anymore, not gonna cut it. Not gonna fly. There are so many resources out there.
Take this from somebody who probably ain't gonna read your pattern. I'm gonna figure this thing out.
She is. She's just gonna look at it and make it.
And then I'm gonna be like, oh, I got this. And then it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that's how I learned. But I learned. Little FYI, I actually do read the pattern.
She does read it. She just goes off script.
Yeah, I'm not.
But she has the skill to read it.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. And I'm just going to throw out this resource if you don't know how to read patterns already. There is a book by Deb Rose, NYC. It's a lovely learn to crochet book. And there's a section about this big in the front on how to read patterns. It is simple, it is thorough, and it is accurate.
Also, your local LYS. Yes. If you have one, please go support them.
A wealth of knowledge.
They will give you what you need.
Yes. The nice thing about a local yarn store is that they focus on community building.
Yes.
They want you to be educated.
Yes.
So you can continue to be a customer.
Yes.
So they're going to give you what you need to make sure you can keep coming back. So if what you need is learning how to read patterns,
please.
But the choice not to, we're pitching it.
The choice.
We're done with that.
Don't use that as an excuse.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Not
no
over here anyway.
Okay?
No excuses, sweetie.
All right, Betty Jo Sue. Cut it out. Cut it out. Here's a good one. AI pattern inspo. If you've been on Pinterest in the past 6-12 months, you may have noticed that just about every creative niche is getting overrun with AI generated images.
I get people, oh, I saw this. Can you make this? Can you make me this?
Is there a pattern for this? If you ask another AI generated image if there's a pattern, my goodness.
And I've not had one positive response from anybody who's bought any of those AI generated patterns. You're trying to get creativity out of a machine. No soul, no heart, no
history,
nothing. No point of reference.
Nothing. No culture.
They could listen to her and I talk all day. But they still could not give you the wealth of knowledge that we've experienced with yarn.
Yes, because you have to live it. You have to have some perspective. You have to have some frame of reference. You have to have some style.
Yes.
Which these computers don't have.
No,
they can analyze what you say. They can analyze the colors and the shapes.
Then they take this fake body
Yeah.
that nobody looks like.
None.
Unless you've had massive surgeries, and then you come to somebody like us, and you can
the answer is no.
No,
it's a hard no.
I won't do it.
So we got to do the 1, 2, 3. I think everybody knows what it is. But,
okay.
Okay. So AI generated inspiration. 1, 2, 3.
Pitch it.
Get rid of it. I am so sick of seeing it.
I'm so sick.
And honestly, what bothers me is that they're really tricking a lot of people out here.
Yeah, they're getting
like
you.
There are patterns for sale on Etsy that use AI generated images, and then you wonder why when you buy the pattern, the thing don't come out how it came out in the picture. Because nobody's made that thing.
No.
That they're generating a pattern for.
And
they're guessing.
And the people that are selling it to you, they don't care.
They don't care.
Then you're not getting your money back.
No. And they're
because you can't find them.
And the problem is those are also not crafters.
No.
They're not makers. So it's not like they're producing the pattern, refining it, and then selling it. No. They're just creating an image, then going back into AI and saying, create a crochet pattern that makes this thing.
Right.
And then wondering why it's not right. Because crochet design, believe it or not, is a science as well as an art. There's so much math involved. There's so many different types of science and math that go into creating all those curves and colors and movement within the pieces. And a computer can't generate that in its head and then spit it out.
They don't physically wear clothes.
Right. They don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know.
For you to tell me, oh, take this yarn and every 3 inches there'll be pink.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's not though. It's not.
Are you kidding me right now?
It's really frustrating as an artist because I often encourage people, go to Pinterest, get your inspiration, create the boards, but
and then come back.
Yeah.
And go to some place like Ravelry or what is it, Ribbit or
Ribbler,
Ribbler,
Ribbit.
or Ribbit. I know.
Pepper, I'm sorry, I just bopped him in the face.
So or something like that, and go and find yourself a pattern, and you can type in parameters and different things that you're looking for.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up with a topic that has been rampant in this community for years now: monetizing your hobbies. So monetizing your hobbies essentially means, taking something that you love to do for fun and gathering some aspect of it and choosing to try to make money off of that, right? So it could be, a knitter starting a YouTube channel or a crocheter who, teaches classes or whatever it is. Whatever it is. It's a point of contention in this community because
some people just want you to do it and give it away for free.
Yes.
And they expect that.
There's an entitlement factor to it sometimes.
Which is really sad because people need to eat.
Yes, 100%.
And there's things out here that have to be paid for. And even something like us sitting here and doing this, it's not free.
It's not free.
It's not free.
There's a whole bunch of other things that we could or should be doing right now.
I can tell you that.
I'm looking at my kitchen right now.
Ooh, child, what I left at the house.
Girl. So, on 3, monetizing your hobbies. 1, 2, 3.
Stitch it.
I can't say. I
gotta say stitch it.
You saying stitch it, monetize your hobbies?
If you need to, I believe that you should. Because at the end of the day, somebody's getting paid to do the thing that you thought of.
Yeah, that's true.
Do it if you can.
If you can.
If you need to, and you can. If you need to, or if you can. Yeah. And if you don't, and you just want to give it away, there is nothing wrong with that. You do what makes your heart happy.
100%. I completely agree. As somebody who has monetized and remonetized and uber monetized every part of her hobby, I can't say whether you should or not. This was only a hobby for me for like a few months.
Oh, yeah.
I turned this into something I got paid for very, very quickly.
She's always been that way.
I mean, if I'm going to do it and I can get paid, why wouldn't I? That's always been my 2 cents about it. So when it was time for me to quit my day job and do this full time, I was like, you know what? I feel like I was always on this trajectory. I was always headed here.
She always was going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother. We're going to talk about that a whole nother time. We're going to have a time when I interview her.
Oh.
That's what we're going to do.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, I can't wait. Put me in the hot seat, baby. I'm
going to
waiting
put
for
her
that
in the hot
day.
seat because y'all already know. Because I know y'all got questions.
Yeah.
But she ain't going to answer the questions of herself.
I can't answer my own questions. Okay, well, that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
But as far as monetizing your hobbies, my 2 cents on it is if you can and you want to, sure. Just understand that once you put on that business hat,
it's business.
Like it lives there until you shut your business down.
Ooh,
the moment you decide that you are going to exchange your time, your energy, your talent for money that somebody worked hard to earn and chose to give to you.
That makes them feel like they can say anything to you.
It's a social contract,
yes,
right?
It is.
It's I'm giving you this and you give me this. It's an exchange.
Yeah.
So the moment you decide I am exchanging for money, you now work with that person.
Right.
So if you don't want a boss, okay, because now the customer is your boss.
Yes.
So
100%.
if you don't want a boss, if you don't want anybody telling you what to do, if you just want to make stuff and then sell it and never think about it again, I wouldn't recommend it. You should just give your stuff away. You should donate it. You should find some way to release it without any money exchanged. Because once that money becomes exchanged, you now, to a degree, kind of owe that person low-key forever. Because if something happens to that blanket you sold someone and they're like, ooh, that the centers of the squares are coming undone. What do I do? You can't just say, oh, I sold it as is. Don't ever call me. Like, we wouldn't do that.
No.
That's not who we are as a community.
No.
I'm a little on the fence because I don't think everyone who goes into business for themselves, especially recently, understands exactly what that means.
That it is an actual business.
It's a business. It's a job.
It's a job.
And you really have to treat it like that. You have responsibilities to people now.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not easy.
It's
because
not
if
easy.
You're somebody like me, and I'm not going to allow anybody to tell me what to do.
You know? And if that's not for you, don't do it. Because no matter what you do, no matter what you monetize, whether you have a day job or whether you monetize a hobby, you do something long enough, it's going to feel like a job.
Yeah.
There are aspects of it that feel like you got to go into work and this is the same thing that you would be complaining to your girlfriends about. Like, oh my God, I had to check this email and this Betty Sue from Texas emailed me again.
One more time. But she don't want to do it that way.
You know?
I gave you $7. Girl, bye.
It's the truth though. Like I say it lightly, but I've been at this for a long time. And there are times I've called up my mom and I'm like, girl, I don't know.
And I'm like, girl, you want me to think so? It's just a sign. I told her, I was like, oh, girl, let me answer those emails for you. She was like, I don't want to be out of business.
I adore my mom. And there are certain things that we do together. Absolutely. But checking my emails, it can't be one of them.
See me now. Betty.
Girl, not even the Sue. She dropped the Sue. She like, look, Betty.
Call him.
Betty about to get blocked.
And you know I love y'all, but I will block you. I will tell you. Because I'm coming to tell you. Girl, I don't like what you said. I don't like what you did. And you don't get to say that. And now, blocked.
Yes, she most certainly will.
But I love you, though.
That is all for Stitch It or Pitch It. But I do want to know, what are you going to stitch and what are you going to pitch?
Yeah,
is there anything?
What did you just see enough of this year?
What are you so done for? What do you want to leave in 2024 and what are we taking into 2025?
There's a whole lot of things that I saw this year. I was like,
what's one thing you saw this year that you're like, you know what, I'm actually good on that? For me, I think what I'm starting to get a little burnt out on is like crochet gadgets for the gadget's sake. Like if you're going to produce something that is supposed to make my life easier, that's supposed to make my craft situation easier.
Yeah.
Don't give me some flimsy plastic crap. Put some time into it. Put some energy into it.
There's a few things that came out this year that just
weren't great. They weren't great.
I'm sorry. They were trash.
In the bin.
Normally like she'll get something and
and
I'll be like, oh, give me that. Don't throw it away.
But I haven't heard that much this year. Yeah.
Child, I let her put that stuff straight in the trash. I don't even want to give it to my friends who said they wanted to try it.
Yeah. Okay. And I review a lot of gadgets. And I would say for the most part, most of what I come across, it's fine. But I'm not necessarily going out of my way to get it. What about you? What are you pitching for 2024?
I like what you said.
Yeah, the gadgets.
I'm just going to say gadgets. I'm not going to call names because I don't want anybody to be.
We don't want no smoke.
And honey, I ain't got no problem with bringing infernos, but this is not my channel.
Well, if this was your channel, what would be the gadget that you're like, I'm good? Like, you don't even have to make that anymore. Which one? Wobbly things.
The wooblies.
Oh, the woobles. Mama don't like the woobles. Why you don't like the woobles? It's stupid, she said.
Paying all that money for that sugar.
That is the part of it that is really frustrating. It is overpriced.
Are y'all
Let's be honest.
Something?
It is overpriced. So I went into Joann, girl. Why is a skein of that Woobles yarn $15?
For that,
ma'am,
okay,
there is nothing.
That plastic.
There is nothing natural or handmade about it. Isn't it polyester?
Yes, or something.
Polyester, nylon, whatever it is. You know what? Let me check.
There's just certain things that happened this year that y'all could have completely skipped.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Woobles kit right here from Joann. This little tiny bird. How much is that? How much would you pay for that?
I wouldn't pay more than like $6.
I'd pay maybe $10. It's $30. One skein of the Woobles yarn, $13, on sale for $10 right now. It says it's a worsted cotton blend, 75% cotton, 25% nylon. Why is cotton so expensive? Why do I have to pay $10 for a skein of cotton yarn? Even if it was 100% cotton, which it is not. It's just getting a little out of control.
This is not like wool and nylon that you're using for socks.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
This is little amigurumi toys.
If you bought them or you like them,
if you love them, like,
company,
we ain't talking about you.
We're not talking about you.
We're not talking about you.
I'm just talking about the price in general.
It seems high.
And this is what I'm going to say, and then we're going to end this.
Okay.
From the time I bought my first ball of yarn, which I think I paid 75 or $1.25 for, to now paying upwards to 50-something dollars. There are different things that you can, I feel, justify.
Sure, yeah.
Well, because you put a name on it, or you were something or somebody or something, I think it's too much.
It's too much. It's too much. And you know what? I would challenge another company to come up with a similar concept a little bit more reasonably priced, because the Woobles are supposed to be beginner kits, and there are going to be a lot of beginners who can't afford to pay $30 for their first project to even decide if you even like it or not.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
But we always say, do you.
Do you, boo-boo.
And if it's what you can afford,
just find a coupon.
Oh.
If you're going to do it, just get a coupon.
Yeah, something. Make me feel better about it.
You know.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And that's it for stitches or pictures.
Yeah, we're going to do it. This will be a whole episode.
Well, that was fun. I do love a little stitch and pitch. We're going to have to run that back. We're going to have to do that again. That was fun.
That was fun.
But now we're going to move on, because as we wrap up the year, it's a great time to reflect on some of the really fun projects that we got to do over the course of the year. And as makers, you try not to pick favorites, but when you make as many projects as we do, there's a few that are going to rise to the top.
Yes.
So you figure we take a little bit of time to walk down memory lane.
Walk down memory lane.
And take a look at some of our favorite projects that we've made over the course of the year. So we've got a few of them.
Yes.
Do you want to start?
I will start.
What do you want to share?
Rhinebeck was a highlight.
Rhinebeck was stellar. Top tier this year.
And really I'm not going to lie. I bought it.
Yeah.
I bought it.
She did. Mama do be showing up for Rhinebeck. That's her fashion week, baby.
Girl.
Do y'all see this? I don't even try to dress up no more, because like...
And then the skirt to match. And people thought it was a dress.
They did.
Like,
which would have been cute.
It would have been cute.
But I love the two pieces.
And girl who went right back and bought the additional yarn so I can make that dress that y'all was talking about.
For real. So that's what, Miss Babs?
Miss Babs.
Miss Babs.
Miss Babs, I also have some Liberty wool. Also that shiny is Lion's brand, and they don't make that anymore either.
And this is the thing with this lady. Like, it don't matter the brand. It don't matter the weight. It don't matter the fiber. If she like it together, it's going together.
It's going together, and I hand wash, towel dry, lay it flat to dry. I've never had a problem.
Well, speaking of Rhinebeck,
Yeah.
I also had a great time.
Yes.
I went a little bit more toned down with my Rhinebeck piece this year.
So nice.
I was a little bit demure. I was a little bit, I was a little bit curtsy,
Yes.
So I just did the Sweetheart jersey from Nomad Stitches. And Sandra, I can confidently say now, is a absolutely fantastic pattern designer. I barely had to make any edits. And the edits that I did make are because, one, I put in stripes and hers is solid. Two, I think I used a slightly heavier DK than she used, and the fiber was a bit different. And I was able to use my yarn, Happy Place, original Happy Place, the solid. And this is just some yarns that I still had in my stash, because honestly, if I didn't buy the yarns, wouldn't be none left.
None.
Thank you. What you got next?
Okay, so what I'm working on right now, I got a couple of Christmas hats. Those are my carry around projects. Behance.
Oh yeah.
I'm making pounds. Wait a minute, because there's a lot of leg around here.
Hey. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. Oh my god.
Oh,
I love it so much.
Talk about the disco.
So pretty and sparkly.
Talk about
the drapes intense. So what yarn is that?
Oh, this is Hobie yarn. Flash it.
Flash it, yes.
This is Hobie.
I think that came out around Christmas time last year.
Yes.
I think so.
And I've seen people make things out of it, and I think they think it's like funny.
Like a novelty yarn.
Or something like, and they're not really making, what we would consider like wearable garments. They making things that are like funny and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, honey.
You're like, no, we can elevate this. That's the thing about Mom. She sees the potential in every skein of yarn.
As soon as I saw that yarn, I thought about the company Missoni.
So what are you making those pants for?
I'm supposed to be making them for New Year's, but then we might be wearing onesies.
We might be.
It's
a pajama jam.
It's a pajama jam.
I am wearing a onesie that I am not hand making, so don't even ask. I am wearing a onesie, but I mean, there would be some cute pajama pants.
They would be cute pajama pants with a nice shell, and then I can put a nice
like
little
a little
silk robe over it.
Wear that to the jammy jam. Wear that to the jammy jam. Okay, here's what I got next. If we're talking about color.
Yes, give it to me.
So this is one of my favorite pieces for the year.
And I love it. I've been trying to get this girl.
So it's not a blanket, but it's inspired by a blanket. So this is my Bahama wrap. What was it, like last year, the year before? I came out with the Bahama blanket with this lovely Landscapes Breeze from Lion Brand. I love this yarn. I love everything about it. I love the colors. I love the way the yarn is set up. I love the shine of it. I love the drape of it. I love everything about it.
And I'm going to tell you, it feels good.
It does feel really nice. It blocks beautifully. Now, frustratingly enough, Lion Brand cannot keep this yarn in stock. So it's really hard for anybody else to make it, but there are alternative yarns you can use. You can pull stuff from stash. It's just a really good, fun project, and especially if you get cold in the office or something like this, this is lovely to just wrap around your shoulders. And it's really just the colors for me.
It's the colors.
I'll be honest. It's
and
the
I'm
colors.
not going to lie, honey, she don't have no scraps because I took everything.
She did. She did. Ain't no more. What you got?
All right, y'all. So we were talking about acrylic yarn.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't care what you say. You can do the darn thing with acrylic yarn.
Ain't you though?
I made this just triangle shawl. And I put
so
these
pretty.
Beautiful beads. Honey.
Looks like you're covered in Christmas lights.
Exactly.
It's so cute.
Or give you a little color to that black outfit on that bleak day. Some people would use yarn to give you this color. But I had the beads and I was like, oh, these are wooden beads.
Yeah.
And isn't that cute?
That's super duper cute. Oh, I love that. Is that a gift? Is that for me?
Could be.
Did y'all hear that hesitation? You come up in my house, you drink up all my coffee, you pet my dog, and I can't even get a shawl.
And she buy me a cute cup.
I did buy you a cute cup. The abuse I suffer.
Suffering.
Well, if we're talking about beads, then I have to share this piece right here. Ooh, girl.
Another one she won't give me.
I will not.
About what,
I will not.
See,
so
did she say that?
Every now and then, I give away, well, not give away, but I sell pieces in my D-stash.
Yes.
This piece You'll never see an Indeed stash.
Ever.
Never, ever,
before
ever,
I
ever.
let her do that, I'll take it.
So this is the Demeter shawl. This is one of 8 patterns that I designed when I came out with my yarn Apricity earlier this year. And I put wooden beads on the bottom. And let me tell you, the folks at Hobie, not super happy about that. They're like, we don't sell those. And I was like, listen, I'm sorry, but this shawl,
needed.
She told me, she's like, Mama,
this.
I need the beads. You know what? It's starting to become a trend. I basically just want to wear blankets.
Right.
Like, let me be honest with you and myself.
Yeah.
That's really all I was going for.
And if you're petite, you don't have to
make it this big. But for me in my house,
we
putting the beads
on it.
We gonna put the beads on there, girl. We gonna put the beads on there.
Beat it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love this thing.
Well, talking about Apricity, I have always wanted to make a coat of many colors.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I've made tons of coats of many colors. But when Miss Ma'am came out with this Apricity yarn, I said, oh.
She was waiting for
Let me tell y'all something. How they say, I've been waiting all my life. All my life. Hey. And when I tell you I got, how many colors is Apricity?
25? 5.
25. I got all 25 colors up in here, but I trimmed it out in my favorite color.
Ooh.
It is a coat that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends. Honey, I knitted her. Oh, it was such a pleasure.
So gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
There's something about Apricity in knit fabric.
Yes.
I have a crush on it.
And I crocheted a shorter jacket, like hip length, because I wanted to be able to use that, like to ride in a car and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this mama right here, she has been a dream of mine. And look, I've already had people like, oh, I know you're going to sell me that.
Oh, y'all ain't getting that one.
Honey.
Like, this is customized.
Honey, this is no, darling. This is mine.
This is mine.
How did Wesley say it in the movie? Oh, no, this is friend. If you know, you know.
Listen, if you know, then you know. And I know some of you know, so you know.
You know.
Oh, yes, for me. No, this is mine. Oh, this is fringe, honey. Oh, I think I'm going to black out.
Speaking of things that we've had on our crafty bucket list for a long time, I've had this piece on my crafty bucket list for a long time because it's been unfinished for a long time. But if you've been around the channel for a while, you saw this year I finally finished my granny square blanket. Now this has been in my stash for 4 entire years, just as the grannies themselves. Most of them are made from mini skeins that I've either gotten in Advents or when I went really wild on mini skeins back over the pandemic. They've just been sitting in a bucket in my room. And I just got to the point where I was like, it is low-key criminal to have something this gorgeous just sitting around. Once I finally seamed it all together, I was like, what the heck was I waiting for? I think I needed like a few more squares, and then I just needed to lay them out and see them.
4 squares.
Yeah, it wasn't that much.
It was 4 squares.
This is...
And your grandma was like, oh, that blanket on the bed, Gwenny. You think Toni would give me
For real,
that?
she wanted that one?
I was like, no, Ma.
No, I'm sorry. I will make you your own.
Right, but
you
not
can't
this.
have... No, you can't have...
Not this. This is one of those labors of love.
This is the kind of blanket that I'm going to pass down to a child. Because even seeing it all together, it is hard to believe that I made this with my hands. It's so pretty.
It is beautiful. The joins.
Yes, the joins.
Just the joins. I love the
It's so good. So I'm glad that this piece is finally done. And if you're interested in making this, if you're interested in anything that I've shown, I'll have all the links down below. If you're interested in mom stuff, forget about it. It's not gonna happen.
This is gorgeous. I'm gonna make myself one.
You gonna make one too?
I have a
maybe
bag.
Not fingering weight yarn.
Yeah, it
For
actually
real?
is. Yeah, I have a bag of yarn.
Yeah?
That I just showed on my page.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. And
I guess you can make one.
I've had that bag of yarn for years.
Yeah.
For years.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Maybe that's something that we'll stitch for 2025 is using our stash.
Yes, because we decided that we were going to do some stash busting.
Yes, it's much necessary.
It's much necessary.
Yes.
So, my last thing that I'm going to show. earlier this season, we did a
video.
And I mentioned the blanket that I had been making forever. This blanket is not quite as old as you. You
Not
had to
quite.
be about
Close.
You were 3
Oh,
when I started.
little baby Toni.
You were little baby
Oh,
Toni.
little baby.
And I had mentioned that my husband and I were in Germany, saw the yarn, went in the yarn store, lost it. Remembered that, oh my God, I know how to do something with my hands.
Yeah.
Besides hair. And everybody wanted the Janet Jackson. And
Oh gosh, yeah.
the dookie braids is what we call them.
Braids, we sure did.
This yarn is wool. And when I tell you that, what is this, like DK weight yarn?
Yeah, it's got to be DK.
DK weight yarn. When I tell you the ball of yarn was like this.
Was it?
And I got...
That's how they used to sell them.
That's how they used to sell them. I spent probably $8 or $9 for each one.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
That was a splurge, girl.
You know it was a splurge.
Ooh, girl.
And I think I got 5. But this is the blanket.
It's so pretty. Look at that design in the middle. You know, I love a stripe.
I'm really proud of it because I didn't even remember knitting or crocheting things for my babies. Well, I did. I find pictures now and I'm like, oh,
it's like, oh yeah, I made that thing. So this blanket, you started 35 years ago. And when did you finish it?
I just bound off.
For real?
This year.
This year?
No ends of weave in.
Oh, that's okay.
That, you know, that.
Listen,
I didn't even know that was a thing. Because I
have to weave in my
I would just crochet. Yeah, you see, like,
listen, you tied them off
yeah,
though.
Everything
is going nowhere.
And when I tell you, like I said, this blanket is over 35 years.
Wow.
35 years old.
It's really lovely,
isn't it? All these little stitches.
All these tiny little... Girl, I can't imagine you doing all these little bitty stitches. I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, you did what?
I put my feelings into the things I make.
Yeah.
Trust the sister when I tell you this blanket got some feelings.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got some stories. I can't imagine.
But
it's really beautiful.
Yeah, so
congrats on finishing that. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
And you?
I'm going to wrap things up with my most prized make of the year. The piece that I love so much that I feel like embodies me as a maker and has also pushed me very far out of my comfort zone.
It did.
I was never really a sweater maker. It was this year. It was Mom. And she's been inspiring and influencing and encouraging me to make my own clothing.
Yes.
Forever. I didn't really have the latitude to make things for myself just yet. Figure out what kind of yarns I like.
And that was another thing that I really appreciate you Toni lovers, that when you went on there and said, she's a designer and she makes stuff like 24/7 almost. She doesn't have time to create for herself.
That is very true.
That was a truth.
Y'all were spot on because that's absolutely the case. I made space this year to create things for myself.
And to actually take time. I can tell you this, from the time she started making things until now, she did not make things for herself.
I didn't. This is my hexagranny cardigan. Yay. And this is why I said, I hope these don't ever go away. So I made mine a little bit cropped. I made these long balloon sleeves. I put a hood on it. I put buttons on it. It is perfect for me.
Her.
Now, a lot of these details are not in the pattern.
Yes.
Right? I found the hood tutorial from Passionate Kelsey. The sleeves, I just crocheted them until they hit my elbows. My wrists. And then I decreased a bit and threw on some cuffs. The cuffs were too tight the first time. I ripped them out and I remade them. You know, it's all experimenting.
Yeah.
Especially when you're making clothes to fit your own body.
And that's part of the creative design
It's part of the process, yeah. But this is that really gorgeous yarn from Barocco.
Sesame.
Sesame. Oh my goodness.
Sesame.
And this is the color Ube. And every time I put it on, you get that feeling of like, nobody else in the world has this.
And it's that knitter crochet feeling
Mm-hmm.
of, I did a thing.
I did that.
I did that. I
that.
made that.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, somebody might literally screenshot you and
maybe. But yours is never going to be quite like mine.
No,
it's
you're
just
not
going to
me.
be the same. Exactly. Because
Right.
you ain't me. And you shouldn't be.
No,
you be
do
you. Because I'm
you.
taken. Okay?
Right.
I'm taken. You can't be me.
And I made a good one.
So those are our projects this year. I am really proud of my pile of goodies this year. Like, I explored a lot of color, a lot of wearables. I finished whips. And I just had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun. I got to wear a lot of the things I made.
If Mom's going to step out in her knitwear, it is a fashion show. It is a runway wherever she is at.
I'm about to give it to you.
And I'm just standing in the back taking pictures, girl. That's me the whole time.
Y'all know better
Get it,
than
girl.
that.
Stick that hip out, girl.
Y'all know better than that because y'all know she bringing the fire too. She her own little bit. Honey,
You
please.
Listen, you get the two of us together. I'm going to step it up a little bit.
Yeah, she knows. She knows. Because I'll be like,
Girl,
I get that look about,
She do.
We going to the store? You coming back to get dressed?
Stitch it for 2025. Wear your makes. Wear your makes. Wear them.
Wear them.
Wear them.
Wear what you made for yourself.
Shame.
No
wear
shame.
It. And if you don't like it, make something else and wear that.
And listen. I know I'll be talking about don't frog it. Oh, take that thing out.
Frog it.
Or frog it.
Frog it.
Reuse that yarn. Because you bought the yarn for a reason. You obviously
And it's still
liked
perfectly
it.
good yarn.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with it.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
I really like the pieces that you made this year. I mean, I always like the stuff that you make. We have to draw this to a close eventually, and we're going to do that with a cute little Q&A. So I want to give a big thank you to all of our friends here on YouTube, over on Instagram, who dropped in questions. This is Mom's first official Ask Me Anything.
Yes.
And I have not shown her the questions.
It's not my first
one.
We did this before.
No, we did hot takes.
Hot takes.
That was fun.
Different.
If y'all missed that video, you should go watch it. It's up in the corner.
Yeah.
First question. This is a softball. This is a super duper easy one.
I can pitch this one out. I hit this one out the park.
You got this.
I got this one.
So you have a basket full of scraps.
Yes.
What are you making?
A scarf or a poncho.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
I just knew you was going to say dress.
It depends on how many scraps.
You got a basket full of them.
Then I'm going to make a dress.
Then she going to make a dress. I knew she was going to make a dress. The dresses you make are absolutely stunning. And she'll be like, yeah, I just had some of this laying around, so I just made a dress. And I used to, when you would say that, as somebody who didn't make wearables, that was like so far over my head. I'm like, how is your default making clothing?
A garment. A whole garment.
But I get it now.
Yeah.
Because it's honestly one of the best ways to use up a bunch of scraps.
Yes.
To use up a bunch of leftovers.
Especially if you're not going to make a pattern for it.
Yeah.
Just
pick a simple silhouette, throw all the colors at it, whatever you have, and just have a ball.
Yes.
Have a lot of fun with it.
Yes.
So we had a very nice friend here on YouTube who said in her comment, please don't take this offensively, which I couldn't imagine she would. But she was wondering how far apart we are in age. Because we get that we're sisters all the time.
Yeah.
This is my bona fide mom. I promise you.
100%.
She birthed me.
Yes.
One day I wasn't here, and the next day I was, and it's all because of her.
All natural. We'll tell that story another day.
So how far apart in age are we? How old were you when you had me?
No.
I'm 38. How old are you?
I'm 59.
So she was 21 when she had me, which is a beautifully respectable age.
Yes. I was married. Yeah,
yes.
I was married.
But we do get sisters all the time. And like that has never bothered me. It's always felt like such a massive compliment. Because either you're saying, I'm aging gracefully like this queen, or she's aging backwards like this queen.
Right.
Either way, we are queens.
Right.
Beautiful, gorgeous queens standing next to each other.
And there's no, oh my God, you think I'm younger? Or oh my God, you think I'm older?
Never.
Thank
Not at
you.
all.
Every time somebody mistakes me for you.
Yeah. Okay.
I turned 59 this year.
59.
I am 59.
Can you believe it? I know they
have
can.
No problems telling you how old I am.
Yeah.
I love it.
What was Toni like as a teenager?
Toni was a good teenager. She only had one little meltdown where she went to stay with her friend, and she came home and she was like, I hate you. And I was like, well, I don't like your ass that much either.
Yes, she did.
So you could go in your room and think about what you just said to me.
I got a chance to say it one time. Didn't go how I thought it would. And I never said it again.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, her little face turned blood red. It didn't get beet red. She got blood red. Like, and girl, them tears came down and she ran, like, just like a movie, she ran in her room and threw herself on the bed.
I'm surprised I didn't trip.
I said, Edward, go get your daughter.
And
I politely went right back wherever I was and probably picked up some yarn and went right on about my business because that's what I did. I'm about to put this in the yarn, honey.
I guess as a teen, I was so focused on what was next.
She was driven.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I never felt especially comfortable as a teenager. For some reason, I felt like I should go from being a kid to being a grown-up. And that's it. No in between.
She didn't want to do any teenage things. She didn't want to go to any teenage places. It was really hard to get her to do like prom things. And
yeah, I only went to homecoming once.
Yeah.
I did prom. By the time prom came around, though, your girl was looking good.
Yeah.
I looked great at prom. We got this super pretty, like, black dress.
It was
a little
my
tight.
dress.
It had these cute little, like, burnouts on it.
Yes,
and it had a slit up the side.
It was my dress. Didn't I do your hair?
Yeah.
And your nails?
Yes. I did the whole shebang. I was like, we're only going to prom once.
You got your makeup done. You went and got your makeup done.
Yeah, I went and got my makeup done.
That was the one thing I wasn't proficient in, but everything else.
Yeah. So there was a follow-up question of what were you like when I was a kid? So to me, my dad was in the military, so he's off doing what he got to do. So me and my brothers, to a degree, it really feels like we all grew up together
and
with
this was
mom.
After I got out the military.
Right. So mom's home with us. It's me and my brothers. We're hop skipping all over the place. This is before we really settled down.
Yeah.
If anything, I felt like I just had a grown-up friend most of the time. I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but when we did, it was usually me and my brothers. The three of us got in trouble.
Because my thing was, look, I'm tired.
Mama always tired.
I was so tired. Because when I wasn't at work and I wasn't doing hair and I wasn't shopping and cleaning and cooking, I was just trying to find some place to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And my husband was in Desert Storm, so he was gone. And we were in another state, so there wasn't really anybody there. So we're just doing the best we can. And mind you, I got these kids, but really, I was a kid myself still. So my thing is look, I don't go to the hospital on weekends, and I don't go to the hospital Monday through Friday.
Don't get hurt.
Don't
break nothing.
Don't stick it. Listen, I will give you anything you want. You just don't stress me out.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. You want cake for dinner?
No problem.
I don't care.
Never a
as
question.
As long as you're eating, it's pancakes. It just got chocolate on it. We weren't rich, but we had each other.
Yes.
And that was cool.
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
It's all we needed.
And some toys.
Yeah.
And
we did like toys. Cook. Oh, yes. That helped. Mom was a fabulous cook.
Anything
we were never
wanted.
Hungry. And I think that helped us a lot too.
Yeah.
Because we didn't grow up to be these super picky eaters.
Yeah. When I went to the doctor, took them to the doctor, and I told the doctor what was going on, he was like, at that age, as long as they're putting some food in their mouth, good to go.
Good to go.
Good to go.
So what can Santa bring you this year? Peace on earth?
Oh my God. Wow.
Cheaper eggs?
Ooh. You know what? I ain't even going to talk about the price of groceries. We know what that got us. Please don't get. If I could have those things, then it would be. What I would like is for people to respect one another.
Yeah.
If people showed respect, we would not be where we are.
100%.
As a nation.
100%.
It is the utter lack of disrespect for other people. Not for yourself. You respect yourself just fine. It's other people that you don't respect. And you know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
And you probably watching this video or whatever. I'm talking to you. This is your fault.
And she said what she said.
And I said what I said. And it's ungodly. And you don't get it. But that's okay, because you about to find out.
Yeah. So we're going to bring back to yarn.
Yes, yarn. That's what you want.
You have 60 seconds. Walk us through your personal color theory. How do you put colors together? What does color mean to you? 60 seconds. Go.
My personal color theory is any color.
I found this on the web.
Girl, Siri, stop. Ain't nobody talking to you. You just messed up my whole setup. Damn it. We gonna set it up again.
Okay.
girl. So 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Tell us your personal color theory.
My personal color theory is whatever color you like the most. Build off of that. If you don't know how to, go to a space. Pinterest, Instagram, anywhere on the internet, any magazine. If you have a rug and it has a color in it that you love, a painting, a piece of clothing or something, anything that you like, and just build off of it. And please do not allow someone to tell you what you can and you can't do with your own color.
Absolutely.
This is about you. It is not about them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them deal with their insecurities over there.
Yep.
And you stay over here, because I put everything together.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I see a little dot or something in somewhere, I'm pulling it out. And
I think that's one of the easiest ways, and Mom taught me this, the easiest ways to put colors together is start with a skein that you like, and then just pull a color out of it.
Yes.
Right? You got something
cup
with like a little bit of speckles or something.
Look at this cup.
Look at these colors. Absolutely gorgeous. So all of these will go together in a project.
Whenever somebody tells me they can't, I just say why.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting anybody physically, mentally, or emotionally.
It's not like the stakes are not that high.
It's yarn.
This is not make or break, baby. It's okay.
Strength.
Unless you're working with that cashmere that you done had in your
don't play with that.
Listen,
Don't play with
think
that.
that one through.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Play with your colors on acrylic and then make the project in the, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, here's a really good one. Okay.
I'm ready.
Y'all wanted some tea.
Tea.
So here it comes.
Well, y'all know I'll give you tea anyway. It could be a simple question. I'm going to give you the tea.
So what is something that makers do or say that makes you roll your eyes? That makes you do that right there. That make you do that right there.
Oh, it's that whole name dropping thing. I made the da-da-da-da-da sweater. And, or whatever. And, I used da-da-da-da-da yarn.
Yeah.
And then you get 27 other ones. Oh, I made the sweater. And don't get me wrong, I love the sweater.
Yeah.
The sweater's great. The designer, great. But
it's
when
the
it
energy around that.
It's that
just
snobbishness.
Yes.
I wish I could just like hold his eye straight and roll this one around like in one of those cartoons. Because I'd be like...
That is the energy that makes people say
I don't want to
knitters are snobby and they're exclusionary. They don't let people in.
Or
that's where that comes from.
Or you can't make that same thing out of acrylic because it's not going to be whatever. Girl. You don't know. I mean no harm, but don't nobody know or care what kind of yarn you use.
Don't nobody care.
Because
it's not about the materials. It's about the artist.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen artists, true artists make gorgeous stuff out of yarn they found in the trash. Yarn they made out of trash.
Or from the thrift store. Or whatever. Yeah, I think it's just you trying to blow yourself up. Yeah. Trying to make yourself a little bit more than you ain't.
And all it do is make me look at you sideways like, you made it sweater.
And everybody behind you looking at you like, girl, that's why I can't stand her.
Honey,
that doesn't make you anything different. But now when you can take some yarn you only paid $10 for and make something that people can't stop talking about or looking at.
That's top tier, honey.
Then you did something.
Yes. Good point. Great points. Okay, so here's one. Have you ever heard the term DNF? It means did not finish. Okay?
Oh.
So what's the last project that you DNF'd so that you didn't finish that you kind of feel bad about?
Oh, I was gifted some yarn this year, and I didn't finish the project before Rhyme Day.
Oh.
And I wanted to because I was gifted the yarn to make a dress. And I'm still going to make the dress. I already started it.
Yeah.
But I just did not have time. It was fingering weight. It was fingering weight.
Why always giving us fingering weight yarn? Like we got fingering weight yarn time.
And this was at Flock.
Oh.
And
yeah, you wouldn't have had no time before Rhyme Day. Oh, girl. I wouldn't feel bad about that at all.
Well,
like, ain't no way.
I don't feel
you might
bad.
see that at Rhyme Back next year.
Yeah. So I don't feel bad because I know that that's one of those projects that during this long, dark, dismal winter, that's about to roll up on, that's already rolled up on Michigan, honey,
yes,
I'm going to need that pretty bright, shiny yarn to bring some
it'll get
joy.
used.
Because, honey, what
It's
is that
so
thing?
Seasonal depression, girl.
Seasonal, honey.
Listen, if you got that, don't come here.
I throw on stuff like this. And
this is why we have to craft.
Yeah.
Because these months, pretty much between now and middle of March.
If we don't get to travel, if we're not traveling somewhere.
Talk about miserable.
It's going to be cold.
Oh, it's cold. It's like the nasty cold. You don't want to go outside. And it's not even enough snow to make it fun to go outside. It's just cold.
It's so cold, like my knees and my butt be cold.
Yeah, your butt be cold.
And how your butt be cold? But you don't want to have to sit in the house in a big old sweatshirt and with big old socks on.
You can't stay warm.
You know, mama flame on. Mama flames on. And then by the time I get through now, I'm hot in this sweater. I got to take it off.
Oh, God.
Changing my clothes 2 or 3 times.
Might as well just go stand outside for a second.
So what was the question?
The question is, what is the last project that you felt bad about not finishing?
How did that happen? Okay, but seriously though,
yeah, you're gonna use that yarn that you were gifted.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna make sure that I finish.
Okay.
It'd be like one of the first things that I get a chance to wear in this spring.
That'd be nice. That'd be the perfect timing.
Yeah.
So what is your secret to not following patterns when you're making wearables?
Say like this sweater. This sweater I made in my head from the So Faded sweater.
Sure. Yeah.
That is my pay for that pattern. That is my go-to. So this particular sweater is 2, 1, 17, 1, 35.
Can you see all the numbers going like this over my head?
1, 2. That is the setup for this sweater. And I just go
and you just keep letting it grow.
And I just keep letting it grow.
Here's my advice. Even if you are following a pattern, if something feels off, just stop.
Stop.
Because there are so many times I'll see people, they will complete an entire sweater, know that they hate it.
Sleeves
they know it doesn't
long,
fit.
The body too big.
Like you have to try, you have to make clothes that you can try on as you make them.
Yes.
So you can decide at every single step, do I like where this is going? Because if you don't,
even
there's going to be a point where you can't fix it anymore. So try it on enough so you can get to that point where you can fix it. Because whether you're following a pattern or not, that thing should be able to fit. Especially if you're doing something top down, you're going for a raglan, which I always recommend for beginners. It's a great type of pattern to start with. Check out that maple sweater. It's a free pattern over on Hobie. Once you get a feel for, okay, this is the general dimensions of a raglan.
Of what I like.
Right, of what I like. This is how I like my clothes to fit.
Right.
Then you're going to be a whole lot more comfortable not only maybe making something outside of a pattern or editing a pattern as you go.
Yeah.
Right? If you want it a little fuller in the body, but it's fine in the sleeves, now you know how to do that.
Because normally I would increase every other row if I were knitting. But because I'm crocheting, I increase every row.
Yeah.
Because you need that fabric to grow really quick. Quite frankly, even when I didn't know what I was doing, it still came out okay.
Just experiment and just play.
And things have gone wrong. And I've had to take things out and the fabric or the yarn didn't work or I didn't have enough or whatever. And you know
but that's how you learn.
Yes. Though. And that's how I perfected it. So I could literally sit here while we're having a conversation and start a sweater.
She could.
And Toni will say, what are you doing? Or people, somebody
did
you
really just start a sweater? Did you really?
Yeah, like you'll see the yoke start coming together.
I remember when she made this.
Yeah.
I was sitting right there. I think we were in the car. And she just started stitching. I was like, what you making? I'm going to make me a top. I ain't see a tape measure. I ain't see a gauge swatch. I ain't see a nothing. And I'm like, you know what? If she says she making a top, I bet you she going to have a top. And here we go. So we've got one more pretty fun question.
I'm ready.
This one's another softball.
Okay.
How did you and Papa Yarn Crafts meet?
Oh. We were at a party. And I was cranky. I should have been at the party. I was pregnant. He walked in and I ain't gonna lie, he was so fun. I was like, oh my damn.
You ever see a man like that? You're like, damn man, why you had to walk in here?
So
was it the hormones?
Girl, it probably was. Them hormones was whoring. How they say, he fine.
He fine. You're mad. Okay.
I had seen him, and then that was it. I ain't paying him no attention. But he was dancing, and he backed up and he stepped on my foot. Now, mind you, again, I said I was pregnant, and I was also mean. So I cussed him out. But
your New York came out. Ooh, bad.
Every. I was not a sailor. I
all
was
over that
soldier.
little Midwestern sweet little boy.
And he, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry. And all the guys there, they ready to beat him up. I'm like, we good. I took care of this. From the day we met, 4 months later, we actually started dating.
Of course, because that's how it goes.
Because that's how it goes. And he got orders to go to Germany. And I was like, you don't have to leave me here.
She know how to play the game now.
And he was like, so the only way you could go with me is if you would marry me? I said, if you ask.
So, we're going to wrap this up. This has been so fun. Listen, me and Mom have these conversations all the time. We just finally, again, turn the camera on, and now you get to come hang out on my big orange couch with us.
The pepper-doodles.
With the pepperoni balloon being so sweet.
And now my girl down here,
the girl
too.
Sheba. Everybody needs some love. So we're gonna close it out, and I have a combo question for you.
Okay.
What is something you'd like to do more of in 2025 around your craft, and what is something you'd like to do less of in 2025 around your craft? So let's start with more. What do you want to do more of?
I would love to do more traveling, and I would also like to do more teaching. And I want to finally, now that I've done it a little bit more, write a few more patterns.
Oh, don't tell them that.
When I say a few more, it might be one, it might be 100, because they all in my head.
Yeah. You got a few published patterns under your belt now. And it wasn't the worst thing.
It wasn't the worst, but I'm just going to let you know. So it's out the bag now. The first Hobie Advent thing was a shawl. The first shawl I made took me 3 months. And I hated it. And the one that you got took me 2 days.
Yeah.
I made that shawl in 2 days.
A deadline will do that to you, girl. It'll have you... But honestly, the toughest part about publishing patterns is the writing. Yeah. Because it's technical writing.
That part
it's just not fun.
That's the one thing that takes the joy out of it to me. Once I pick up my hook or my needles or whatever it is, I just want to make it. I don't want to have to stop and write it down and how many stitches and where I started and all that stuff seems like it's so extra. I'm like, I don't want to do that part. Yeah. I just want to make the thing.
Just make the thing.
And make it look pretty.
That's why when you say you want to release patterns, I'm like, why? Why? But you know what? I support it and I endorse it. And however I can help you, let me know. Yes. And then as soon as you're ready to be done,
I'll be done.
We'll stop. So what do you want to do less of next year around your craft?
Not necessarily myself, but I would like a lot less drama.
Oh, yeah. That'd be nice. That would be really nice. The infighting and the accusing of each other and the judging and just the silliness. It's just silly.
Yeah. Those things take more joy out of it than actually writing a pattern.
100%.
I'd rather do that than see some of the things that go on.
Yeah.
That's more and less. That's it for me, yeah.
I would say the things that I want to do more of in 2025. I do want to make more of my own clothes. And I want to expand to other pieces of clothes. I want to do shrugs and cardigans and sweaters and, skirts and dresses. Probably not pants.
Pants are another thing.
Pants are tricky. And honestly, anything with the crotch, I think that's a few years out for me still. But I could see skirts, dresses. I've been talking about wanting to make a dress on this channel for years. And I still have not done it. It is still on my list. I'm pretty sure it was on my list for 2024. But I'm not there yet, clearly. And I just want to get better at structuring garments, making things that fit me the ways that I like. I want to use more of my stash as well. I am so in love with my stash. Every time I look at it, I'm like, girl, you have great taste. Like, I can see why every single skein is in here. And
why
like,
it's so hard for me to get rid of it. I'm like, I'm going to do a D-stash.
See, I ain't got no problem with a D-stash. I got a whole separate area of the house for the D-stash yarn. But for
and
my
when
actual
she say
stash,
a D-stash, I thought she just meant give it to her mother.
But my actual stash, the stash that I keep in my room, I want to use it more because it feels like I'm then honoring my past self who took the time to build this stash.
To curate it.
Curate it for sure.
I think that that's a great way to put it because a lot of times people just say, oh, you're just buying yarn for the sake of buying yarn. And that's why some people say, well, I won't have a stash. Well, you should have a stash.
And also, please stop thinking you so high and mighty for not having a stash. That's a wonderful choice.
That's
but
your
like
choice.
That does not make you better than anybody else. Please calm down.
No.
Please. And then what I want to do less of in 2024, I think I just generally want to acquire less. I love this work that I do, and reviewing products and hooks and yarn and all that good stuff is a lot of fun, but I travel a lot and my souvenirs have always been trinkets. Yarn, hooks, stitch markers, scissors, whatever. Bags on bags on bags. I love a bag.
Love a bag. I love a bag.
The limit does exist.
Yeah.
I know we like to joke like the limit doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The limit does exist. The limit is once you start feeling a little uncomfortable with the amount that you have.
Yeah.
I want to be a lot more intentional about what I bring into my home over the course of the year. And I want to get on some kind of schedule of then releasing that stuff. Either sharing them as gifts, giveaways, selling them off, whatever it is, to make sure that they're in a home that it's going to be used. That is definitely an intention that I have for 2025. It's just to like not bring as much stuff inside is the plan. So with that, we would love to know, what are you trying to do more of, and what are you also trying to do less of in 2025? So drop down in the comments and absolutely let us know. But for now, we're going to call it a night because we actually have a yarn store to go to. And while I'm sitting here talking about bringing in less stuff, listen, it's not 2025 yet, so I don't want to hear it. Not a word.
We're going to stimulate the economy while we still got time.
But we want to thank you all so much for hanging out with us. This was an absolute blast. I hope you have a great holiday season in front of you. And we will see you next time. Thanks so much for hanging. Bye. Awesome. We did it.
Yes.
Nice job. Woo. Let's go to the store.
Girl.
I want to go
to the store.